The feel of emotion and gameplay changes with each version update, and delving into specific details carries the risk of errors. However, with the latest update, the most noticeable change is a reduction in the sloppy skating-like motions of the players. Although a somewhat floaty feel still exists, there is a notable improvement in footwork. This enhancement allows for a variety of footwork during one-on-one defending, which is enjoyable to watch. The speed of motions has also increased, making the structural aspects of a defender's body positioning and the resulting direction changes and the footwork more intriguing. Personally, I don't prefer using super cancel defending. It's more of a matter of a personal preference rather than a clear-cut issue of what's better or worse, right or wrong. However, I don't like to super cancel defending because it tends to ignore the general concept of a movement. Even though you don't care about what I'm going to talk about, it doesn't pose any issues when playing the game. Even when observing players in Division 1, they exhibit high levels of pressure in the defense without the application of such movements. My opinion is simply that I have personal reservations about the fact that these elements are being applied in the game. In the previous clip, I discussed the pelvic structure, emphasizing its role in body movements. This structural foundation is equally crucial in defensive actions. However, the rapid pace of these movements makes them challenging to observe. Nonetheless, when you control the player, you can still conceptualize and imagine the movements by pelvic structure. Let's look at how this structure influences the movements of the players and how to control it through some examples.
There's no getting going about this the right way.
This is a really front-footed approach.
Well, the question now is whether they can sustain it.
To secure distance and time, Guerrero runs parallel to the opponent. Here I press the L2 button and the matchup button while adjusting the direction with the left stick. As the opponent attempts to slow down and changes direction, I maintain L2 button pressed and release matchup button, controlling movement and direction with left stick. When you hold down the matchup button, the stance becomes stable, but it constrains movement, so I release the matchup button and control only with the left stick. When the opponent accelerates, I readjust the direction with the left stick while pressing L2 and the matchup button to follow along. Pressing both the L2 and the matchup button simultaneously makes the player sprint quickly. The reason for doing this is to be able to cut off the opponent's pass even while running and to tackle at close distance. What I want to discuss here is how the pelvic structure affects the body's overall structure and how we can control this body structure. When Guerrero sets its position, the body structure influenced by the pelvic structure is oriented towards the sideline. In this situation, if the opponent dribbles towards Guerrero's right, he may be vulnerable to a dribble breakthrough. It is crucial to readjust the body structure at this point. Releasing the matchup button is necessary because it restricts the body's movement. I control left stick for free movement. As the opponent accelerates, I readjust the direction with the left stick and press the matchup button again, and Guerrero starts sprinting. When the opponent does a skill move for a direction change, keeping pressing the matchup button at close range automatically allows for standing tackle.
Played out to the right. Great skill, that's nice.
Observing Guerrero's movements, you can see how the body structure is formed by the pelvic structure, in which direction the player can run faster and which direction is vulnerable to the opponent's speed dribble. If the opponent quickly runs along the sideline, Guerrero may be able to cover it rapidly because his body structure is toward the sideline. However, if the opponent changes direction to Guerrero's right, he may need to turn his body, which takes time, and makes him vulnerable to the opponent's speed dribble. To offset this disadvantage, he draws back while maintaining distance. The left stick is used to adjust the body structure formed by the pelvic structure. You can see the free movements controlled by the slightly tilted left stick. Being aware of and controlling the body structure in this way while defending could make the defending more enjoyable.
Barcelona surely know by now that they've put so much work into producing the equaliser that they'll
Arnold's pelvic structure is oriented towards the sideline. If the distance is close, there is a possibility of a Perisic dribbling to Arnold's left and potentially breaking through. However, since the distance is being maintained properly, there is a chance to deal with it. While adjusting this pelvic structure to control distance and direction, I release the matchup button to allow for pivoting movements with the left stick. It is beneficial to slightly tilt and move the left stick in this process. In this situation, as Perisic is left-footed, dribbling to Arnold's left increases the likelihood of being tackled by Arnold. However, opening up space towards the half space can be risky, so I orient the Arnold's pelvic structure towards the sideline and adjust its stance in the direction to channel the play. In fact, to execute these strategies in the game may not be easy, and it might not always be necessary to go to such extent. The key is to observe the position and direction of the pelvis of the player you can control, which determines the body structure of the player, and adapt to the opponent's movements accordingly. When Perisic kicks the ball a bit far, I press the press button to steal the ball. The movement by press button is the ball oriented and is the quickest way to rush toward the ball straight forward.
Guerrero with an air of confidence about him, a certain swagger.
Well, you can't grumble when a player at least tries to make something happen.
The footwork controlled by the left stick has become more detailed and improved. Cancelo prepares for the opponent passing to his teammate. I position Cancelo's body towards the direction of his teammate, aiming to channel the opponent for cooperative defending. To secure distance and time against the opponent moving towards the sideline, Cancelo runs parallel. Adjusting the body structure while running at high speed can be challenging. While holding down the matchup button and Alt2, as soon as the opponent starts to decelerate, I release only the matchup button and use the left stick to immediately correct the body structure. With the distance sufficiently closed as the opponent attempts a direction change, I promptly press the press button to attempt a tackle. When you adjust the player's body position, it is beneficial to imagine the body position made by pelvic structure. Thinking of this gives you some hint for which direction you can run fast, in which direction you are disadvantaged for changing direction.
In acres of space out wide.
Arnold quickly runs to his position. I'm pressing the matchup button and Alt2. To minimize the stiffness caused by inertia, I release the matchup button only and adjust Arnold's body structure using the left stick. Looking at Arnold's pelvic structure, he can move quickly in the forward direction, but if the opponent dribbles to Arnold's left, he needs to turn his body, which takes time to catch up. To counteract this, I slightly adjust the direction to the left. Due to the mistimed movement, I adjust the body structure by tilting the left stick to Arnold's right, which is the direction the opponent is moving. While Arnold moves slightly backward, Perisic executes a skill move to Arnold's left, and when the ball is slightly off his feet, Arnold tackles to steal the ball. The left stick can be used for changing the direction of the pelvic structure and adjusting the body structure. Tilting and controlling the left stick slightly can make the reactions quicker.
But they're not shying away. Time is on their side and they're set on using it.
Sané.
You can observe how Cancelo's body structure changes and which direction he could quickly cover due to those changes.
Now it's Dennis. Some good work on the right flank here.
Both Guerrero and the opponent have their pelvic structure open forward, so they can run fast forward. However, due to this, both Guerrero and the opponent need to turn their bodies for direction change, and this takes time. Look at Guerrero anticipating the opponent's direction change by subtly altering his body structure and running speed. As the opponent continues to run, Guerrero accelerates again and runs forward. Look at the opponent slightly turning his body for direction change. His body structure is changing. If there had been more distance, Guerrero would have had to adjust his body structure by turning to respond. However, due to the close distance, he was able to immediately steal the ball with the standing tackle. Footwork details have been improved over previous versions, making applying this concept more realistic and fun. The left stick can control changes in body position determined by the pelvic structure. You can change the player's body structure in detail to determine whether to defend by pushing the opponent to the left or to the right, or to respond to the direction of the opponent's movement. eFootball has this kind of simulation element, but can this game be called a football simulation? In seriously competitive online matches, there are still arcade elements like super cancel defending and crazy fast pressure that overshadow these elements. It doesn't seem easy to strike a balance between realism and game-like gameplay, but at least eFootball is still applying the concept of a body structure that was intended in the early vision of the game. The following clips are examples of changes in body position that can be predicted by the pelvic structure. Thanks for watching, guys.
He's going to be a real handful for the opposition here.
He would be the obvious choice, wouldn't he? He certainly has all the right. We're not going to make any further progress now.
Oh, he refuses. It's off. Offence is the best form of defence.
Spread out to the left.